Hi everybody. In this morning's video from AG Chelsea TV, I'll be bringing you the latest Blues updates. We'll start with club president shares what he's heard about Chelsea ace's summer transfer. Thiago Silva will not renew his contract with Chelsea at the end of the season, according to the president of Brazilian side Fluminense, who are eyeing a deal for the 40-year-old. Silva made the move to Stamford Bridge after being released from French side Paris Saint-Germain in 2020 and helped the Blues win the Champions League during his first season in West London. Since then, he has become a mainstay in the Chelsea side despite a cycle of managers, Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter and Mauricio Pochettino, taking charge. Last February, the Brazilian signed a new one-year deal at Stamford Bridge and in January admitted he was super relaxed about his future despite entering the final 6 months of his deal. However, Fluminense president Mario Bittencourt appears to have hinted that the centre-back could be ready to return to the Brazilian club and claimed that Silva will end his 4-year stay in West London at the end of the season. "I'm very good friends with Thiago. I talk to him about a lot of things and not just about coming to Fluminense. We don't have anything at the moment, but we're very keen for him to come home," Bittencourt told Globo Esporte. "From what we've heard, his contract with Chelsea runs out in the middle of the year and he won't renew it. I think that, in Brazil, he wants to play for Fluminense. As soon as he's cleared at Chelsea, we'll get back to him, and he'll help us in this important year." Mauricio Pochettino questions Gareth Southgate's use of Ben Chilwell. Mauricio Pochettino has expressed his surprise at Gareth Southgate's decision to play Ben Chilwell in both of England's games over the international break. Chilwell, the Chelsea left-back, played the first 67 minutes of Saturday's 1-0 defeat by Brazil and the entirety of the 2-2 draw with Belgium on Tuesday night, which saw him pick up a knee injury late on. Chelsea manager Pochettino said he had not expected Chilwell to have been used so much, especially as the defender had only just recovered from a knee injury that restricted him to just a single minute of Chelsea's FA Cup quarter-final victory over Leicester the previous weekend. England manager Southgate has already been forced to defend his decision to start Manchester City's John Stones against Belgium, with the centre-back having to be withdrawn after just 10 minutes and thus becoming a doubt for his club's game with Arsenal on Sunday. Potential title deciders are no longer a concern of mid-table Chelsea, of course, but Pochettino confirmed that Chilwell was nonetheless a doubt for Saturday's visit of Burnley. "Still, we need to assess a few players like Chilwell, who came from the national team playing 2 games after he didn't play with us," Pochettino said on Thursday. "He got a knock in his leg, on his knee. Today he wasn't ready to train. We will see what happens tomorrow. Whether he will be available for the squad. We need to assess him." Fulham unlikely to make Broja loan permanent. Fulham are increasingly unlikely to turn Armando Broja's loan from Chelsea into a permanent deal this summer, following the Premier League breakthrough of Rodrigo Muniz during the second half of the campaign. Broja, 22, was loaned to Marco Silva's team on January deadline day in a package worth £4 million dependent on his appearances during his time at Craven Cottage. But his impact has been limited with Muniz now first-choice striker. Muniz was signed in a £6.85 million deal when Fulham were in the Championship and was loaned to Middlesbrough last season, with second-tier clubs also looking at him during last summer's window. But following Alexander Mitrovic's departure to Saudi Arabia club Al Hilal, Muniz has climbed above Raul Jimenez in the pecking order and has 7 goals in his last 7 Premier League games. Broja, meanwhile, is yet to start a game since his arrival at Fulham 2 months ago. He has come off the bench for times, but his longest appearance was a 16-minute cameo against Burnley on his debut, which saw Fulham concede a late equaliser. He played Albania twice during the international break, coming off the bench in the defeat against Chile and then starting against Sweden in a 1-0 loss. He is set to be included in his country's squad for the Euros this summer, after they qualified top of a group that included Poland and Czech Republic. Earlier in the January window, Chelsea had put a £50 million asking price on Broja when they assessed his value compared to the market. They eventually allowed him out on loan, but the deal did not include an option or obligation to buy this summer. Having come through Chelsea's academy at Cobham, he will represent pure profit if he is sold this summer, which benefits profit and loss figures. Chelsea train ahead of Burnley with surprise faces back on the grass. Chelsea are back in Premier League action tomorrow as they welcome Burnley to Stamford Bridge for the 3 p.m. kick-off. The Blues trained yesterday ahead of the game, and there was a couple of surprise faces pictured in training, or at least on the grass. Chelsea announced that Trevoh Chalobah had been added to the injury list yesterday, but he has since been pictured in training getting ready for Burnley. Confused? As are we. Reece James was also spotted in training kit and out on the grass at Cobham yesterday, which is a great sign. Levi Colwill also out on the grass. Benorah Bajishile, Nicolas Jackson, and Cole Palmer. Chelsea identify 18-year-old Real Madrid target as Thiago Silva'S successor. Chelsea will need to step up their efforts if they want to win the race for Lille's Laney Euro, with those around him seeing Real Madrid as the better destination. That's according to Sport, who cover Real Madrid's interest in the highly rated youngster and again present Chelsea as potential competition for them. They explained that Real Madrid are putting pressure on Lille to sign the French defender, but their €60 million asking price is seen as too expensive by those in charge at the Santiago Bernabeu. The Spanish giants are believed to be at the front of the queue for the youngster, with Lille reluctant to sell to Paris Saint-Germain, and Loro is keen on the move to link up with the various French players already there. Madrid don't want to match the €60 million demands, though, and are instead trying to work out a deal that would potentially see him loaned back for a year in return for some of that fee being reduced. The big risk for Lille is that Euro's contract expires in 2025, so if he doesn't sign this summer, they have to sell to avoid losing him on a free in a year's time. PSG, Chelsea, and Bayern are also interested in the defender, who they consider one of the best in the world in his position at this moment in time. That was also reported in Spain earlier this week, with AS claiming that Chelsea are also in the mix and among the strong suitors for his signature. They're convinced by the idea of a transfer, but Euro's entourage believe Madrid is the best destination for him at this point. Thus, Chelsea need to step up their efforts and start convincing him on the benefits of Stamford Bridge, perhaps taking advantage of Madrid's reluctance to stump up the money required. And that's the final content of today's video. Like, subscribe to support AG Chelsea TV.